Yes, everyone. What is happening? The Liverpool Prophet, TLP, back again with another match preview. That time of the week again, a Friday evening. Today, of course, I am going to be previewing Liverpool's game tomorrow against Brighton at 3 p.m. at Anfield in the Premier League. Can Liverpool make it 2 wins out of 2 and regain some momentum? Or will Liverpool revert back to type as we've seen for the past couple of weeks? Stay tuned to find out. Before we get into the match preview, do remember, do drop a like on the video if you are enjoying it. Do, of course, sub to the channel as well and turn notifications on so you know whenever a video drops. And of course, do get down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the game tomorrow. It's always great to hear what other fellow Liverpool fans have to say. So, yeah, like, subscribe, and comment, everyone. Having said that, let's just get into the match preview, Liverpool versus Brighton. So, this is going to be an interesting game, a very, very interesting game. Liverpool versus Brighton is always an interesting game, should I say. So, one thing we know about Brighton is they're not going to sit deep. They're not going to park the bus. They're going to come and they're going to play football. Um, they're a team that like to have the ball a lot. They like to keep possession a lot. They're a team that always attack no matter who the opponent is. I think they're a very underrated side. They're a very well drilled side. I think they have a very, very underrated manager in Fabian Hertzler. And I think they are a very, very, very decent outfit and a very solid side. They've beaten Chelsea this year at Stamford Bridge. I think they've also beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford. No, they've lost to Manchester United at Old Trafford, sorry. But they're a very good side. Very good side. So you know that they're going to come and they're going to play. So it's not going to be a game where we have to break down a low block and we have to kind of find a solution. Both teams are going to play. Both teams are going to really be going for it. So this should benefit us because we struggle against teams that play low blocks, but against teams that actually play front-footed football against us, we actually usually get a lot more joy. So that's one thing I'm happy about, and I can take a bit of positivity from the fact that Brighton are going to come and they're going to play. If they come and they shut up shop and they play defensive, we'll probably struggle. But seeing as they're not going to do that and they will come and play and attack, it will be, I think, more joyful for Liverpool, and I think it will be a lot more pleasurable for us as well because I think we can have a lot more joy getting in behind them a lot more rather than having to break down a low block all afternoon. So I think that's a big positive. But also, as well as saying that, I think Brighton are a bit of an inconsistent team, if I'm being totally honest with everyone. I think they can go away to Chelsea and win 3-1 at Stamford Bridge with a convincing performance, but then they can also go away to Old Trafford and lose 4-2 in an unconvincing performance. I think against bigger teams, Brighton are usually a lot better, but I think against the smaller teams like the Leedses, the Sunderlands even, they usually struggle and they usually drop points. So as well as being a good side on their day, because on their day, Brighton can play some very good football and they can be a very, very hard team to play against. They can also be a very easy team to play against because sometimes inconsistency creeps up. Usually against the smaller sides, they struggle a lot more. I think we can all agree on that. So it depends on what Brighton show up on the day, what Brighton will show up tomorrow afternoon. Knowing our luck, the proper Brighton, the clinical Brighton, the Brighton that actually plays well against the bigger teams is the one that's going to show up. But we'll have to wait and see on that. As for team news, it does look like the Cody Gakpo injury is a little bit more serious than everyone thought. So he's not just missing one game; he will be out for a couple of weeks. So of course, get well soon, Cody Gakpo. As much as I don't rate Gakpo as a footballer, I never want a footballer to be injured. So hopefully, he has a speedy recovery in his back soon. Meaning, who will play off the left will be an interesting one. Will it be Rio Ingamoa? Will the manager give Chiesa a chance, or will he maybe put Florian Wirtz out there? So it'll be interesting to see for the next couple of weeks who are on a slot up to play off the left hand side of the wing. Other than that, I think we've pretty much got everyone. So team selection wise, we're looking okay. We've got a pretty decent squad. Um, I want to see if Liverpool can build on the win against Inter Milan. Now, we all know we had a poor run, but then we ended up beating Aston Villa 2-0 and we beat Real Madrid 1-0. And we all thought maybe Liverpool had turned the corner. And then we proceeded to go on an even worse run after that, starting with the 3-0 loss to City, 3-0 loss to Forest, etc. So I'm sceptical. I don't think Liverpool were great against Inter Milan. I think we got away with it massively due to the fact that Inter Milan didn't really show up on the day and we didn't really turn up. So I think we got away with it. I will be honest. I'm not convinced by the performance. but I will say it was a big result and a big win. Can we replicate that? Can we put in another decent display in the next game now against Brighton at home? Is going to be the interesting thing, or will we just revert back to type? This is what I'm saying. Are Liverpool going to have some consistency? Will we start to put a run of games together where we win? Hopefully we start here. Hopefully we start here. But I'll be honest, I'm skeptical. I'm aware that tomorrow could be a bit of a tough watch again, and we could see the Liverpool of the last couple of weeks play again rather than the Liverpool who played against Milan. So it's interesting to see what Liverpool's going to turn up in this game. Honestly, we all know if Liverpool lose again, the pressure is going to be right back on Arne Slot, because the pressure was on Arne Slot going into the Inter Milan game away at the San Siro, and somehow he managed to pull a rabbit out of the hat and get a 1-0 win. Not only just a win at one of the toughest away grounds in Europe, but a clean sheet as well. So that will no doubtedly have bought him a little bit more time. And a lot of the fans have started to go starting again, which is ludicrous, but it is what it is. However, a home defeat followed by that to Brighton could very well dampen any sort of good morale that he built up with supporters. Following the Brighton game, we go away to Spurs next week, so that will be another tough game. So we have two difficult games coming up now in Brighton and Tottenham. I don't think Liverpool will win both of these games, I'll be totally honest. I'll be very surprised if we do, but I think they're going to be very tough games, and I think should we lose even just one of them, pressure is going to be right back on the manager. Like I said, so Slot also needs to get the team gelling a bit more and a bit more consistency in the team as well. And he needs to put together a good, decent run of results. Maybe then we can all start to change our tune on the manager. But until then, for us, for me personally, I'm very much still Arne Slot out. One fluky win against Inter Milan away with a dodgy penalty does not change that, in my opinion. If we go on a 4, 5, 6, 7 game winning run and we start to see better football and improvements, then of course it's a different story. But a one-off win is not going to change my mind. And the fact that it's changed a lot of people's mind is worrying, very worrying. It's like people haven't learned their lesson from the Villa and Madrid wins. So, yeah, we'll have to see if Liverpool can build on this going forward. Mohamed Salah seems to be the breaking news, though. The big news is that Mohamed Salah is back in the team, well, the squad for this game. Now, whether Mohamed Salah starts or not, very different story. I cannot tell you the answer to that. But what I will say is, if this is to be Mohamed Salah's last game for Liverpool Football Club, apologies everyone for that. I hope you guys can hear me again, but my stream for whatever reason just lagged out and the sound most likely did as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you guys can hear me. But what I was saying before I lagged out, I'm working off hypotheticals. This very well could not be Mohamed Salah's last game. He could very well patch things up with Arne Slot going forward, and it could just be one of those where the manager and player fell out. They got back together. Well, they worked their stuff out, and we go from there. But honestly, it feels like this is one of those feelings where we're past the point of talking about it. It seems like the damage is done and the writing is on the wall. Mohamed Salah probably isn't going to play again under Arne Slot. He's made clear he doesn't want to play again under Arne Slot, and he's kind of made clear that the relationship is kind of broken and fractured. So someone has to reach out. This needs Van Dijk to come in there and say, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to resolve this? What is the solution? But fingers crossed it's not Mohamed Salah's last game for Liverpool, but I'm working off the basis that it will be his last game for Liverpool and he will move on in January. But of course, we all want him to stay for the next 2 years and see his contract out, then retire as a Liverpool legend. But either way, should he leave, he will be a Liverpool legend regardless. So hopefully, if it is his last game, he'll start and he'll get the send-off that he deserves by the fans. So, yeah, that is my little preview for the game, everyone. Hopefully, we can win. Also, it is my birthday tomorrow, so the fact that Mohamed Salah's last game could be on my birthday, the fact that it could be just really is killing me at the moment. So hopefully we can just win because it's my birthday. Either way, I'm not going to let the result get to me. I'm not going to let the result ruin my day. But it'd be nicer if we could win, so I can celebrate with a little more joy. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I now wanted to give you guys my predicted 11 for the game. So if I can just share the screen, apologies everyone. Hopefully you guys can still hear me as well. I hate that the sound to have just gone literally because sometimes when you lag, the sound does end up leaving you. So hopefully you guys can still see me here. But yeah, this is my predicted team to face Brighton tomorrow. Come on, get down there. So yeah, fingers crossed you can hear and see this. So yeah, this is the team that I think will face Brighton tomorrow. So as you guys can see right there, it's a different formation. It's not the usual 4-2-3-1 formation. So yeah, if I could just run you guys through it. Obviously, in goal, it's going to be Alisson Becker. I don't think there's any surprises there. I think we all expect Alisson to start again and play again. So that is Alisson in goal. At right back, I've gone with Conor Bradley. I think now that he's back fit, he's going to be playing right back from now on until maybe Frimpong comes in. And should Frimpong start playing a little bit better, we can see some competition between those two. But I think that the 3 games that we had of Joe Gomez playing at right back are now done. I don't think Slot will give him another chance there, unfortunately. So it will be Conor Bradley at right back. The centre-back pairing, I think, will be Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate again. Hopefully, they can have one of their better games. They've had up and down games this season. Both of them have. There's games where we've been absolutely shocking woefully. City, Forest, Palace, PSV Eindhoven. But hopefully, they can have one of their better games like we did against the likes of Villa or the likes of Inter Milan. So it all depends on how Virgil and Ibu feel on the day. But fingers crossed, they're a little bit more on the brighter side than they are on the darker side. So hopefully a solid display from those 2 centre-backs defensively. Left back, I went with Milos Kerkez now. I genuinely don't know who the manager goes with because whenever I seem to think he'll pick Robertson, he goes with Kerkez. Whenever I seem to think he'll pick Kerkez, he goes with Robertson. So I've given up trying to work out who's going to play at left back. But this is a position where I feel I will give the manager his flowers on. He is rotating a lot more in that position than he is maybe the other positions in the team. So I think it'll be Kerkez for this game. But that's just me guessing. I could very well see Robbo playing, but I feel Kerkez for this game could happen. However, if Robbo starts, I'd have no issues with Robertson starting the game either. But I'm going to go with Kerkez. So I've gone with the back 4 of Bradley, Van Dijk, Konate, and Kerkez. Moving into midfield, I've gone with a midfield 3 of the OG midfield from last season that was so pivotal in us winning the league. I've gone with Dominic Szoboszlai off the right-hand side of the midfield. Finally, back in the midfield where he can thrive at his best. And like I said, Szoboszlai came in clutch for us on Tuesday night. Granted, he scored a penalty, but you know what? A goal is a goal. Again, like I said, only player who's given 100% in my opinion this season. And he's been an absolute warrior on that pitch. So big up to Szoboszlai. Again, scored a huge goal for us on Tuesday night. And hopefully in this game, we can see more of that. So Szoboszlai off the right-hand side of midfield. In the centre of the park, I've gone with Ryan Gravenberch. Unfortunately, even if Gravenberch isn't playing well, he's pretty much a shoo-in to play week in, week out, seeing as we don't have any other DM there. We have got Wataru Endo, but obviously the manager feels Wataru Endo is not good enough to play for us. So I don't think Wataru Endo will be getting much game time this season unless an injury happens. So it will be Gravenberch in the centre of the park. On the left-hand side of midfield, I've gone with Alexis McAllister now. McAllister, let's be honest, I've said it numerous times. He hasn't been the McAllister from last season. He's been, for his standards, relatively poor. Now, I think it should be Curtis Jones next to Gravenberch on the left-hand side, but I think the manager's made it clear that he prefers Maka there over Jones. So I think even though Maka hasn't looked great, I think he will stick with McAllister. So I think that will be the midfield. So I'm going to go, well, I think it will be Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister. Moving up top, we'll start off the left-hand side. With Cody Gakpo out, it's going to be very interesting to see who the manager goes with off the left wing. Will he put Rio Ngomoa there? Will he try Federico Chiesa there? I think he'll go with Florian Wirtz now. Florian Wirtz has started to come into his own, like I said. He's starting to look like the player that we bought, the player that we paid all that money for. Gradually, since the West Ham game, I've noticed a lot of improvements in Florian Wirtz's game. And fingers crossed he can have another very solid performance here. His goal's overdue. Could it be this game? I don't know. But a goal is overdue for Wirtz, and hopefully he scores it soon. I think Slot will play Wirtz off the left side, however. He did this in the Real Madrid game, I believe, and it worked. And I said we should do it more often, but obviously the manager decided not to do that going forward. But I think for this game, because his hands are tied, he obviously isn't going to throw Rio and Ngomoa into this game. And of course, he's made clear he's not going to be playing Chiesa. So I think he will shoehorn Florian Wirtz into that left wing position. It's not his natural position. We know Wirtz is a lot more effective in his natural number 10 position. But I feel for this game, with Cody Gakpo out, I think he will be playing Florian Wirtz or shoehorning Florian Wirtz, into the left wing position. So I think Florian gets that left wing spot for this game. Moving up top, again, I think it's 50-50. The manager could very well go with Alexander Isak for this game. I think it personally should be Hugo Ekitike. We look better with Hugo Ekitike. He's more effective for us at the moment, and he's definitely the better striker out of the two at the moment, no debate. However, sometimes the manager will do something odd and he'll go Isak in the game. So I think he'll go with Ekitike for this one. Hopefully he goes with Ekitike for this one. But I can see Alexander Isak also getting the game here. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it is Ekitike. I think Alexander Isak just isn't cutting the mustard at the moment. So maybe we need to ease him into a bit more. Maybe use him as a bit more of an impact player off the bench. That's mad to say, considering how much we spent for him. But hopefully, as it gets on, as the season goes on, he can start to really gel a lot more and we can start to see why we bought him. But I think Ekitike for this game as striker. But like I said, I won't be surprised if Alexander Isak is starting when I see the team sheet tomorrow. But the big one off the right wing, I've gone with Mohamed Salah straight back into the team. Now, like I said, we don't know if it's going to be Mohamed Salah's last game for Liverpool Football Club tomorrow afternoon. But if it is, he's got to start. He has to start because he needs to have that send-off that he deserves. And we need to be able to have the send-off with him that we as fans deserve. Now, we just want to thank Salah, if it is his last game, of course, for all the memories he's given us, all the joy he's given us, the goals he has brought us down for years, the key moments that he stepped up for us. So if it is his last game, he's got to start. He has to get a start. And for now, he hasn't started the last couple of games as well. He didn't start against, obviously he wasn't in the team for Inter Milan, didn't play against Leeds, didn't play against Sunderland, and didn't play against West Ham. So I think for this game, will the manager start him though? I genuinely do not know with Arne Slot. I have to be totally honest. I don't know with this manager. So fingers crossed Salah plays because it could be his last game. But if the manager doesn't play him, I just give up. I really give up. So we'll have to see where it goes. But I'm hoping if it is going to be Mo's last game for Liverpool, he is in the starting 11. I hope it's not his last game though. I hope he's still here for the next 2 years. But it's looking very likely that the relationship between him and Slot cannot be repaired. The club are obviously going to back the manager. So yeah, it's looking like it could be the goodbye, the farewell on Saturday. And if it is, he has to start and we have to be able to, well, we have to show him just how much we appreciate what he has done for Liverpool. And he deserves to start as well to get that send-off that he deserves for us. So yeah, fingers crossed. If it is his last game, he starts. If it's not, by all means, I don't mind seeing him on the bench again, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy to say that Salah's last game for Liverpool Football Club could be tomorrow. 9 years could be coming to an end, just like that. But yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But if just to when you guys do the team again, obviously Alisson in goal, Conor Bradley at right back, Virgil van Dijk and Konate at centre back, Milos Kerkez at left back, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister, the three in midfield. Up top, Mohamed Salah off the right wing, Hugo Ekitike to the centre as the striker, and Florian Wirtz off the left wing. So yeah, that is my team to take on Brighton tomorrow at Anfield, everyone. But yeah, I'll just stop share screening that. Get straight back in the middle there. So yeah, that's my team. Now my score prediction. What is my score prediction for the game? Because it's my birthday tomorrow, everyone, I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more positive than I would. Now, all day I've been considering what a scoreline to go with. I have felt that this is going to be a draw. Now, with Brighton, the way Brighton play, I said it will be a very entertaining game. It will be a very open game, very end-to-end. So I see both teams going for it, and I see that making for a good game. And I see a couple of goals being scored in this game. However, do I think Liverpool will win the game? Originally, I said 2-2. I said it would be a 2-2 draw. But because it's my birthday, this could bite me. This could really end up biting me. But I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. So I'm going to go with a Liverpool win. I'm actually going to go with a Liverpool win just off of pure vibes and just because I'm feeling a bit more positive because it's my birthday tomorrow. So I'm going to go with a Liverpool 2, Brighton 1 scoreline. I think we'll win 2-1. So that's my score prediction. However, if it wasn't a special day for me tomorrow, I probably would have just gone with a 2-2. But I'm feeling a bit more positive, so I'm going to back us to win. And hopefully the lads do not let us down. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Liverpool. But get down below in the comments, everyone. Give me your score prediction as well. Interested here and see what you guys have to think. Other than that, that is the end of the match preview, everyone. I will be back tomorrow with my match reaction after the game. We'll see how it all goes. Hopefully it's a positive result. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to head off. Before you do leave, of course, do remember, drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already done so. And of course, turn notifications on so you know whenever a video drops. And like I said, get them down below in the comments as well. Give me your thoughts on the game. Give me your score prediction, all of that, etc. down below in the comment section. For now, though, I'm going to head off, everyone. Like I said, back tomorrow with the match reaction after the game. For now, though, TLP for Liverpool Profit out. Speak to you guys soon. Big up to everyone. Bye for now.